gremlins in this little drainage dip where he's heading to now. So we're going to let Johan go first and keep up with him, and then we'll make our move in next. Very cool. So walking on the road seems to be a trend this afternoon, because that's exactly where Xidulu is.
Well, Xidulu isn't doing any walking at the moment. She is very much taking it easy on the road. Now, there's some biting flies annoying her a little bit earlier, but as it gets cooler and later in the evening, a lot of those biting flies start becoming less active. So you can see, carefully, you can just see some very small ones around her ears. That's why they keep flicking from time to time. The majority of the smaller biting fly species we get here in the Sabi sands are called stable flies. And they are also pains to domestic animals such as cats and dogs, and even horses. Yeah, so I'm going to be keeping quiet for a little bit. We're going to be having some people from out there somewhere joining us. So I'm going to be quiet for a second. Big welcome to all of you joining us wherever you might be in the world. You are now on a live game drive coming to you from the magnificent South Africa. I'm currently in the northeastern corner of South Africa. My name is Brent Leo Smith, and I have my good friend Senzo Mkhize on camera, and we're with a female leopard. Now this is happening at this very second, so if you have any questions for us, please pop them on the feed below. So we are, as I said, in the northeastern corner of South Africa in the Greater Kruger National Park. You will hear some other people talking. There are some people visiting South Africa to go on their very own safari to see these incredible animals up close and personal. Now this is a female leopard. She is just over 3 years old. Her name is Xidulu. Now Xidulu means termite mound in the local Shangaan language. We're in the province of Mpumalanga, which means where the sun comes out. Mpuma, to come out, Langa, sun. So we're on the eastern side of the country, and as I said, we're within the Greater Kruger National Park, which is an 8 million acre wildlife wonderland where these animals are able to live out their lives happy and free and without human intervention. So this is a completely wild ecosystem. This is not a zoo. This animal has not been hand-reared or fed. It has had to feed itself and fend for itself from a very young age after becoming independent of its mother. There we go. You can see the classic bottom paw of a leopard there. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? Well, Bridget, I agree with you 100%. Wildlife and nature are indeed spectacular, and there are seldom things more spectacular than one of the most elusive cats in Africa, the leopard. Now, this is a very special part of the world because it has the most habituated leopards in Africa, in my opinion. So this is the best place to come see leopards in the whole of Africa, in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve in South Africa. And remember, there's no fences between the different game reserves here, so the animals are able to wander wild and free between where they are, and that ensures that their natural genetics stay very, very solid, and this population will be good for many years to come. Now, of course, if you ever do visit South Africa, you don't have to go on safari in a car. You can even go on a safari on foot. So we're going to give you a little taste of what that's like right now. Yes, indeed, everyone. And I tell you what, one of the best ways to experience South Africa is, in fact, out on foot. Why? Because we get to feel everything with our feet. We're running our hands through the grass. We're getting to listen to the birds. We're getting to smell all the smells. And we're up close and personal with the real African bush. Now, South Africa has some of the best guides and trackers in the industry, and I tell you what, we can get you up close and personal with some of the big five as well. That's not always the idea, because we want to see the smaller things, the little insects, the arthropods, where the birds are nesting, lots of things like where elephants drop their dung, such as this one. This one is a little bit old, but always nice to see the little arthropods and termites that are now inside the dung there as well. This is something that you wouldn't be able to do on a vehicle, and I tell you what, it is absolutely amazing to get out on foot here, and we can break it open, we can smell it, and it is such a wonderful smell to have elephant on your hands and be on their stomping grounds right where they've been walking. We can take their tracks, we can try to find them, and I've heard that there's a leopard nearby here, and we're going to try and follow up on that and see. Now, that's something that you could be doing if you came to South Africa. But let's just continue on a little bit and see what else we can find as we go here through the bush. And we've got such wonderful vegetation. This is the lowveld, the bushveld, as we call it here locally. And wonderful trees and plants. We've got a lot of specific endemic plants around here. And here's something quite special that I've just spotted on a log. This is some bracket fungus. Now, this stuff is quite special because it only grows on dead or dying tree bark. And what we use this for, if we had to be out in the bush, maybe we want to sleep out tonight and we want to do a bit of bushcraft, you can use this as a very good fire lighter. It's flammable, so you can use that if you had to be rubbing sticks together. And that's something very impressive there. Now, that sun is just dropping down below the horizon. It's getting a little bit late. We don't want to be caught out here in the dark, so we're going to start heading back towards camp. And I tell you what, while we do that and see what else we can find, let's head you on back to Brent with that wonderful leopard. Well, she's still having a lovely snooze out in the road. As it starts getting cooler, the predators like lions and leopards start getting moving, and that's why Ralph's got to get back to camp before it gets too late. Now, she is a young female, just over 3 years old, Ian, so she's just taken over territory, and she has been seen mating with one of the dominant males here, which means that hopefully in the next 3 months or so, she'll be bringing us a lovely new litter of little leopards to wow us. Hi, MyTube. We do see lions quite a lot, MyTube. Unfortunately, we don't see any tigers as we are in Africa, and tigers only occur in Asia. So if you want to see tigers, the best place to go is probably India. You're not going to see any out here. We see lions, leopards, cheetahs, elephants, 2 species of rhinoceros, buffalo, giraffe. Those are all iconic African species that can all be seen in South Africa. And one of the very many national parks spread all the way from the Cape up unto the north and the Limpopo province. So we are very blessed with huge amounts of natural diversity in South Africa, in our different natural parks, and wonderful different places to stay at all over the country, whatever suits you, from the beach to the bush and the beach combined into one. Almost looked like it was about time to wake up. Then she's probably going to wait for it to get a little bit darker, and that's when she has advantage over the potential prey like impala and kudu and inyala. Curious one, indeed you can go on a horseback safari in South Africa. However, you want to avoid the big cats when doing so. But yes, indeed, there are many different places you are able to go on a horseback safari. You can go horseback riding down a beach if you want to. Hello, Patricia. Patricia, we do have menelistic leopards. For those of you who don't know what menelistic leopards are, it is a black leopard. It is basically a leopard that has got a recessive genetic gene that increases the amount of menelism. Menelism is the dark coloured you see on the leopard there, and it produces it all over its body. And they are very, very rare, but there was quite a few of them seen, probably about 70 or 80 kilometers from here as the crow flies. And so yes, we do get black leopards. They, however, are very rare. Now, as I was saying, this is probably the best area in the world to watch leopards, because I'm not the only one sitting with a leopard. Let's go see another leopard with my friend Taylor.
So how incredible is that on Djuma Private Game Reserve, the same place that Brent is driving around, we too have a leopard. My name is Taylor McCurdy, and on camera with me today is David, and we're very happy to join you on the Spotted Cat Safari, because that's what it is when you come to the Sabi Sand in the greater Kruger. Now, you will also see some other vehicles on safari with us, and they're smiling from ear to ear to see this beautiful cat with rosettes. And the other thing that's so great about the Greater Kruger National Park is that the cats are very, very relaxed here. You can see the other vehicle just moving off the road to give him a bit of space, but he is not perturbed at all. Now remember, this is a live safari. It's happening right now. So if you have any questions for us, I'd be happy to answer them. And all you have to keep doing is just keep commenting on the chat. Sharon, you've said that these leopards are so beautiful. They are indeed. Now, this is a young boy. He goes by the name of Hosana, and he's, got a bit of royalty to him, as he's from a he's the son of a very, very famous leopard named Kruger that once used to roam around this area. But sadly, he's not around anymore. So he's quite young, a little bit inexperienced on the hunting front, but he will get there. He's, well driven to try and hunt. You saw he's looking a little lean, and that's what he's doing now. He's looking for his next potential meal. Now he's just gone off into the thicket somewhere, and this is the other thing about these cats, is that they just disappear like you have absolutely no idea. I see all the other guests all looking off here, so he must have gone can you got him? Oh, there he goes. Yes, there he goes, literally just seeing his tail slink around the corner. There he goes. Amazing. Right, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you enjoyed, this leopard filled safari. And if you ever want to come and see leopards, the best place to do that, of course, is the Sabi Sand Wildtuin here in South Africa. But from all of us, the Wild Earth team, thank you very much. And if you'd like to continue watching and follow Xidulu and Hosana, all you have to do is Google us Safari Live. Until then, cheerio. Hello, regular viewers. That's my favorite part, when they say, you are back with regular viewers now. Yay. Right, I don't know where Hosana has gone, however. Again, he's slinking into a very, very thick area. We're just off Twin Dams. We're maybe about 800 meters or so from Vuyatela Dam, so we're not far at all. Except this section of the bush is not great. I mean, we waited for, about 8 minutes or so for him to come out. So we're going to see if we can find a way in there. I've seen my little gap under the bush willow archway, but while we navigate through this thicket, off you go, back to Brent.
Well, Xidulu's head is up as the temperature keeps dropping steadily. She might be up and on the move shortly. Oh, there's a francolin coming up towards her. That's what she spotted. They've spotted each other. There you go. There's a few francolins flapping about. That's occasionally attracting her attention. You can see she's still panting quite heavily, even though the temperature is dropping steadily. Oh, there we go. There's some toofies. I'd say Xidulu's quite a bit taller than Thandi. She is quite a bit younger as well, but I would say she's got a few kilograms on Thandi. I'd say she is a bigger leopard than Thandi is. And it's quite visible in her tracks. Her tracks are noticeably bigger than Thandi's tracks. Okay, now I know Ralph is nearly home, but he's got one last thing or two to show you yet. Yes, everyone, we've come out here to quarantine, where we did hear that there were some impala alarm calls, but I think it took us a little bit long to get here, and I think that predator, possibly a leopard, has probably shifted on. But while we've come through here, every day we see a lot of wildebeest out here on this plains here in quarantine, and this particular site here is very interesting because this would be where a bull, a wildebeest, would come and advertise himself quite prolifically. And what he'd do is, you see a lot of scrape marks. He's got glands between his toes that he's scratching away here. He will urinate and defecate all on this particular site. And you can see this has been used quite regularly and over a number of years, I would say, as well. It's nice and bare now. A lot of scratching. There's hardly any grass. And he's making a lot of holes, a lot of defecation as well. And look at this, because this can often be confused. You see, when there's a lot of water in wildebeest dung, it can actually be confused for buffalo, because it can be quite a lot more sloppy than that as well. But the sort of pieces that we're looking for that really identify it as wildebeest are these little sort of pellets here. And if I can just get one, then I'll show you. That's there. And it can also be quite similar to that of waterbuck. But with it being on a complete midden like this, and with us seeing so many of these wildebeest around, we know that this is a territorial bull that's trying to establish himself in this area, or has established himself in this area, and advertising to the females. Sometimes you'll have the females also come and defecate and urinate in the area as well. And then what he'll do is he'll be picking up their scents and using that Jacobson's organ in the back of his mouth, doing the phlegm and grimace. His head in the air like that, and then he's using that, interpreting the smell of the female, and realizing where they are within their sort of reproductive cycle. So a very interesting site. It's almost like a bit of a coffee shop. This is where the wildebeest come to talk about where they are, who's who in the zoo, where they are in the system, etc. So this is an animal's version of a lovely coffee shop, as we would say, as humans. So everyone, it's getting quite dark. We've got that lovely, beautiful pink, blue colours now starting to come through. The sun has nicely set, and we're going to head towards camp because it's not safe for us out on foot in the dark. So while we do that, heading off to camp, let's head you off to Taylor and see how she's going.
Bye-bye, Ralphie. Walk home safely, or hopefully you're quite close to home, because you're quite right, yes, it is dark. It's very dark tonight. I feel like it's not even 6 o'clock yet. I actually don't know what the time is, but I think it'll be close to that, but it is indeed getting darker and darker by the day. 10 to 6 Central African time in the PM, according to Kirsten, who's directing. So unfortunately, I've got little side lights. Unfortunately, we lost Hosana. The area that he went into to try and navigate through during the day is one thing. At night, virtually impossible. So we have decided to just, call it a night. And I think we had a good view of him anyways. He'll eventually pop out at some point. So keep an eye out on the dam cam if you are going to be watching. He's headed in that direction. Or maybe you'll get to see him. But, I suppose it's all exciting now. It's a nice warm evening, relatively warm evening. We should be seeing things like chameleons. I think we might see a couple of bush babies bounding about, which would be nice. Who knows what else? I'm definitely going to be heading towards the open plains behind camp to look for those honey badgers that Tristan saw not so long ago. But Xidulu's on the move once again. I wonder where she's off to.
Well, she is still heading north, but she's taken a slightly deviated route from where she was, so she should be within Djuma for a bit longer, and I'm hoping maybe she spots something to hunt while she's walking through here. There you go, you can just see her up ahead in the road, marching along, stopping for a little sniff and a scent mark every now and then. There she is, isn't she beautiful? Look how low her tail is sitting to the ground. It's actually almost touching the ground. Oh dear. Off-road we go. Okay, this could get fun. Leopards, what makes leopards so resilient, Minamu? Oh, what happened there? She's just scent marking. Or did she try to grab something? Scent marking. And he saw a bush jumping up and down. Where's she going? Ah. Here we go. Oh, I don't know. We're going to try to stick with her here. But it's millions of years of evolution makes them resilient, Minamu. They evolved to be able to eat rotten meat and drink horrible things and survive. Oh, dear. Oh, there she is. This is not a fun block. As you can see, she's heading into some terminalia thickets. Stopping, listening, hoping to hear some dinner up ahead. So at this time of the year, the leopards are relying a lot on their ears to find food because of the height of the grass. And they often can't actually see what they start stalking till they get much closer. Okay, I'm going to have to try keep up with her through this difficult area. While we do that, let's go see if Taylor has managed to find Hosana again.
No, Brenty, sadly, I don't want to break a second car. Guess what I did yesterday? Let me just make an online confession very quickly. You won't hear many of these. Basically, what happened when I was off-roading yesterday, I don't know what happened to Brent's, some guard in the tire, I don't know what the technical terms are, was bent and was making funny noises, but I did bend the steering arm. Woohoo! Haven't done that for a while. So I definitely did that. I don't try not to do it often, but I was off-roading severely and I did drive accidentally into a log, which was not intentional. So yes, sorry Brenty for sending Rusty to the workshop, to the hospital. But Opa is, sorting it all out, and I suppose tomorrow it'll be back in the field again. I think Brent's going to ban me from driving Rusty. But anyways, he's a good sport about it. He actually didn't tease me this time. Normally he teases me a lot when I do things like that. So perhaps he's saving it. So like I said just before you saw us a moment ago, I've just popped up onto these big open plains behind camp because this crepuscular period, like, it's not quite dark just yet. We'll actually stop and just have a little look because this tree line, this area littered with silver cluster leaves and of course the beautiful mauves and oranges and blues. The evening sky is lovely, so this is the last of the light now. This crepuscular period is when you often find a lot of the nocturnal creatures to be most active. So they're just leaving their burrows now. They're on the move. And I think that there must be honey badgers living up here somewhere. Well, hopefully. I don't even know. Is a snake for real? Is that what you said? Oh, is this fake or real? And then who was asking it? I'm so sorry, Kirsten. It just came, all I got was very muffled, and I heard it. Is a snake. Oh, snee. There we go. That's why. There were lots of S's in that. Well, what came across into my ears is there lots of S's, and I heard, is there a snake for real? So, Snee, you are not convinced that this is real and it's happening right now? Well, if it wasn't, they probably would have cut out that section where I couldn't hear very well. So, yes, it is happening right now. And I look forward to answering one of your questions. Perhaps you'd like to ask me a question about maybe some of the nocturnal creatures that occur here, Snee. But we are in the Sabi Sand Wildtuin, which is one of the best wildlife areas in South Africa. We are basically neighbors onto the Greater Kruger National Park, which you may have heard is very famous, and lots of people like to come out here. So ask us some questions. I look forward to it. So basically what I'm looking for now, Snee, is I'm going to try and avoid all the stink bugs because I was horribly attacked by them last night. And we are also going to be looking for chameleons because they're one of my favorite little critters of all times. So we'll see if we can find any of those and any other creatures. In fact, we might even see some snakes coiled up on a branch tonight. Wouldn't that be quite nice? Shall we go and check our Snaky Snake Road, or aka Balanites Road? We're a little way away from it, but it's basically where I saw a boomslang twice. We found it the night before and we came back in the morning and it was still coiled up on the same branch. So maybe we'll try and have a look and see if there are any other snaky participants within the area. Well, that'll be an idea, hey? Right, off we go. Okay. This is also quite a good area for chameleons. Actually, do you know who we have seen running around here is a civet once? I remember Tristan quickly jumped onto the radio and he may have even tried to phone one of us. He was, I think he was leaving the reserve or he was going to drop someone. I can't remember. Oh, no, he was coming back from a town trip and he drove this road round about this time, and a big old civet, which is an interesting looking creature. They kind of look like, how do I describe a civet? They look like a raccoon with a very sort of interesting body. Black and white, but a little bit bigger than a raccoon. I'll have to try and find you a picture, but almost like a cat-like face too. They're really funny looking things. And anyways, it was one that was running up and down here, was quite relaxed. Ooh. Now there's a challenge that's been issued, and for those of you who know me quite well, you know that I'm, well, little bit competitive. So Strawhead, you want me to try and find you a chameleon, not a chameleon, a scorpion on a tree? And Kirsten has then mentioned that Byron would try. So we're looking. Shall we just start on this marula tree? To me, if I was going to find a scorpion, I'd probably find it in this, maybe this broken branch area, because there's lots of crevices that it can hide away during the day. But sadly, it doesn't look like it. There's ants though, some very busy ants. I wonder if I go down a little bit. There we go, you've got them now. I'm not going to shine directly on them, and I'll just light them up just a little bit. So no scorpion, I'm afraid, but some ants that are very, very busy moving around. And I don't see them carrying any eggs or anything. I wonder if they're headed home, or perhaps they're a little bit nocturnal. Anyway, it's quite cool. You know what I'm really hoping for over the next few years is that somebody's going to invent we need to go up here. We need to go up Zoe's Road. Invent a industrial UV light. Like one that is as powerful as the spotlight that I'm yielding at the moment. Then I could shine that beautiful UV light on all the trees, and I would find chameleons very well. I'd also find scorpions even better. And that's one of the coolest things to do. I've got a little UV light, so if we do find a scorpion, I'll shake the light around because I think my batteries are dying. I've just been lazy and I haven't actually got new batteries for that scorpion torch. But I am going on holiday soon, so I'll correct that and get it all sorted. So yeah, it would be quite nice to find a scorpion. Also, it was Byron's birthday yesterday. Did everybody say happy birthday to Byron? I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. I don't think it was. Was it today? Was it? No, it was yesterday. It was the 22nd. Well, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to tell you all that it was Byron's birthday so that you could go and, well, message him. You can still do that. You can still do that on Twitter. I'm pretty sure birthday messages. So there we go, Byron. A very happy belated birthday from all the Wild Earth members. Right, off you go. Back to Brain, to at least has got a cat.
Yes, we are still managing to just keep up with her. Fortunately, she's not moving at speed through the bush, but you can see we've switched over into infrared. We're the only vehicle here now. I mean, she is on the hunt. She's not starving by any means, but she could do with a meal. I actually haven't seen a really fat leopard, actually, apart from Hosana. Oh, where is she disappearing into now? Oh, she's right there. Oh, back, change direction. You can just hear her moving through the grass. Now, I'm just trying to see if we can spot her again. She was moving back behind us. You see her, Sens? Now, the difference between a black... Oh, sorry, Sens, you okay? You okay? The difference between a black leopard and a panther, Kenneth, there she is, oh, terrible, is absolutely nothing. They are the same thing. A black panther is a menelistic leopard. Oh, she's really giving us a hard time. Watch your head, Sens. Are we okay behind us? Getting out of here is going to be fun. We saw it disappearing through here. And you can see how difficult this terrain is. I mean, this is difficult country during the day. So the last place I spotted her was around here. There she is. Now, there's a road parallel to us, but she just doesn't want to go there. So yours is trying to find me, so I'm putting my spotlight up in there. Yours, you see my light? Okay. I've lost sight of her. She disappeared behind this very thick patch. I'll try to find her again, but I think we might not be in luck. This is just, it's getting worse and worse as I get in here. So let's send you back to Taylor while I try navigate my way out, and hopefully Xidulu's doing the same thing.
Well, you're having much better luck than I am, Brent. I can't even find a leaf on a tree. Just jokes. We, of course, can find many leaves on trees, but that's not what we're looking for. Tonight we're looking for things that resemble leaves on trees. Snakes and chameleons and katydids, which is a type of insect, or grasshoppers. Maybe not a grasshopper. What about a bladder grasshopper? Might see some of them. I haven't actually seen either of those insects for a very long time, funny enough, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on them. They're quite interesting. And then I'm just basically scanning from tree to tree. I've got a very concentrated spotlight at the moment. It's not as big as the ones that are on Rusty and on Wendy, which give off a little bit more of a beam, which actually can help. But we will make it work. Okay, maybe we find a leopard in the tree. I mean, that will be good as well. That's not impossible. And then, of course, if you see Hosana pop up anywhere on the dam, go for it. Let me know. #Safari Live. Now, Mr. Public, something that you probably won't see while we're on safari, because they're exceptionally good at flying fairly quickly and high in the sky, are the bats. So that's probably why you haven't seen one. We don't often actually see them. Sometimes if you've got thatched roofs or an area where there is quite a bit of, a nice high roofed sort of area, you can see the bats sort of roosting up on the rafters during the day. But otherwise you don't really see them. I mean, they're just a little silhouette in the sky. I haven't even heard any tonight, and normally it's a very high-pitched sort of clicking sound that you can hear swooping down as they snatch up all the mosquitoes, which is why I like bats so much. They can eat hundreds of mosquitoes in an evening. There are some bigger bats that don't just feed on, of course, insects. There's some that feed on fruit too. So there's a variety of sorts. But, to be honest, I'm trying to even think what bats I've seen. I think I've seen the epauletted fruit bat, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen like one kind of bat since I've been out here, and that wasn't even here. That was down at Kruger Airport, so down far south, sort of on the border of the Kruger National Park and the Sabi Sand, somewhere in the middle. Just checking to see. This is quite a popular junction with a lot of the animals. I am going to go down the Snake Road though, aka Balanites Road. Whether we will see a snake down here, I don't know. I hope so. I've been wanting to see a puff adder for a very, very long time, and it's something that I have been lucky seeing quite a bit of. Not the puff adder, the cycle, they've been hiding away from me, but I've seen lots of boomslangs and mambas, which has been quite nice. Juvenile boomslang, remember that? It was really cool. We heard the birds chatting around with Craig, aka Batman. That might be the only bat that you see occasionally, but even he is elusive on screen. You don't get to see him very often. Sometimes I just try and just do one of these and whip the camera around in order to show you who is behind the screen. Not everybody's willing. David's quite willing though. Hey David. Oh no, he's gone and he's confused me. He said sometimes. Hey? Anyways, David doesn't want to be on camera tonight. He says he doesn't look good after 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll have to wait until we get him in first thing in the morning. Yeah, David, when you're looking dashing and wiping the sleep out of your eyes. Anyways, Brent was not so confident in finding Xidulu, but he should give himself a little bit more credit.
Well, lucky enough, she popped out onto the road exactly where we were making for, and she has been heading towards the Buffelshoek sign all afternoon, just taking some detours on the way. But there we go. Luckily for us, she did pop out exactly where we hoped she would. This is a popular corner for males and females to scent mark. That's why she is smelling so intently. Now, yes, but very unnoticeably shorehead. They have a winter and summer coat. Their coat will thicken a little bit during the winter, but not much. Is he showing a bit of a sniffing? I wonder if Tingana came and scent marked here. It could also Djuma has been seen in this area, and Hukamuri. So this is a popular sort of signposting spot, this particular little junction here. And she's very, very intent on smelling what other leopard might have been here. Now, Ravina, if Tingana comes across Xidulu and she's an estrus, he'll probably try and mate with her. If she's not, and she's got a kill, he'll probably try steal the kill, and he would treat her as he would treat other females within his territory. She is really, really sniffing. Oh, and she's on the move again. Oh, she's a pretty cat. Pretty cat. Okay, let's try and keep up with that. Hopefully she doesn't take us on too much of a wild goose chase after what she's done. Nice to have her on the road again for a little bit. So it's going to be very interesting to see what she does here. Whether she's going to cut into the north or she's going to cut back towards the west. So we're going right to the sort of northwestern corner of Djuma, right on the boundary where it shares a boundary with Arathusa and with Buffalo's Hook. Oh, sorry, Sibambili and Buffalo's Hook. I'm just going to try and move across so yours can also get a view. So yeah, I'm on board with you. She does have such an intense look about her. It is awesome. She always seems like she's on a mission. Now that's probably a lot to do with her age and the fact that she is trying to establish herself as the dominant female in this area. Well, she's smelt something again. She's heading back straight towards us. Possibly another scent mark there. Let's just see what she does quickly. And Taylor's stink bug invasion is in full force tonight. Sens, do you mind just turning off the presenter light for a second? Because these bugs are just taking me apart. Thank you very much. Taylor's stink bug invasion has found me this evening. So you can see she's stopping at the prominent bushes where males would normally mark, and females. But I think that Senzo is also being attacked by stink bugs now. It's sort of an almond-like smell, but not quite. And I've managed to accidentally pushed on one, so all I can smell is stink bug at the moment. So here we go, you can see she's very actively sniffing those spots where possibly Hukamuri, Djuma, and even Tingana might have scent marked in the last couple of days since the rain. we go. She's had a good whiff. And we're off on patrol again. Okay, while we keep up with Xidulu, let's send you back to Madam McCurry. Oh, wait, no, let's stay with us. She's just heard something in the bush right next to us. I think it was a francolin that sort of fluttered in the tree. She's still listening quite intently. It sounded like a bird. I'm not sure. She's still listening, and you see how opportunistic these big cats are. Oh, there's something coming in right next to us. Oh, it's a hyena. There's a hyena right next to us here, Sense. So, the hyena's probably been trailing her for a while, picking up on her scent. Maybe that's what she heard. Now let's go to her, look at her behavior change. And she's going to try move away from that hyena as quickly as possible. And hyena hasn't quite seen her yet, but has definitely been smelling her. Okay, and just have a look. Oh, we're just seeing, there we go, she's just turned down Aubrey's road. See, the hyena hasn't spotted her, he's still sniffing. He's behind. Oh, there she's watching the hyena. Let's get a bit closer. Now, these little interactions happen every day out here between the different predators. Lions chasing leopards, chasing hyenas, hyenas trailing leopards. Oh, I've got a stick or stone stuck in my brakes. It's making a horrible noise. I do apologize. And just try get rid of it. There we go. Oh, no, I thought I had one, but I haven't. So hyenas will follow leopards like this regularly to try steal a potential prey, a piece of prey from them. Oh, I'm so sorry about the squeaky brakes. You all know how much. Oh, there we go. Hyena's given up. There we go, Sense. There we go. Hyena's given up. And she's jogged on. Now, the hyena might not have given up completely. But she is jogged on. She's actually, I just saw some impala to the right. Now, yes, bone to, unless they were fighting over a kill or she was fighting to defend her cubs. So, as a normal rule, follow them. The hyenas will follow the leopards, keep an eye on them, and see if they can possibly get a free meal out of it. Let's see if that hyena is still trailing over here. Doesn't look like it. There we go. So she's carrying on her patrol. She's lost her hyena tail. So that hyena would have come to have a look and noticed that she's on the move. She doesn't have any kills around. And so he's decided it's not worth his while. So we're going to keep following her for the next little bit. So you can see she's walking.
Oh my goodness, sorry about that, everybody. Brent will be back with you in a jiffy. Now, I've turned my headlights off because I refuse to be attacked by stink bugs for a second time. Yesterday was, well, interesting to say the least, when I had a stink bug fly into my eye, then panic because it was trapped between my eyelids, and then released its wonderful chemical defense, which I've never ever felt. It was like the equivalent of pouring Tabasco sauce into my eye, and then also one into my mouth. So I jumped off the car, and well, it was not pleasant for poor Senzo, so sorry Senzo again. It was not nice, and I was very sick. So I've turned my headlights off, and I will continue to drive without them. We'll be going very slowly though. They're not flying down my shirt, they're crawling up my shorts. It is horrible. How are we going to fend ourselves from these stink bugs? Because not only do they go for your face, but they try to crawl in amongst your clothes. Get away as well. Just stomp the ones that are by my feet just to teach them all a lesson. Anyway, Xidulus also seem to be fleeing to higher ground.
Yes, well, a different hyena has approached her, so she just leapt up a tree, well out of reach of the hyena, and looking down disdainfully. Let's have a seat. Might as well. You can see she doesn't look particularly perturbed. If we look back down towards the hyena, you can see giving up. Oh no, let's stop for a scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. But, as I say, when these hyenas realize that the leopard doesn't have a kill, they might hang around the area, but they're not likely to actually pounce on her or try attack her. She's a nice source of easy food for them, and especially if she grabs something big like an impala, hyenas are quite often able to steal that carcass away from her before she is able to put it up a tree. She has been giving us a magnificent display. Ah, Laura Moore, yes indeed, this is a gorgeous picture. She is a gorgeous leopard. I'm going to check in the road, see if the hyena is still there. That hyena is gone. So, Ashton, oh, she's going to come down. Yes, leopards do naturally seek dominance over each other. If you are dominant, you are able to breed, you are able to produce young, you are able to pass on your genetic line, and that's what these animals really want to do. So unfortunately, if I move the car, I am in a bit of a gremlin area, but she will be moving through it shortly. So, we'll try to stick with her for as long as possible. Okay, well, we keep an eye on her and make sure we don't lose her before the end of the show. Let's go see where Taylor is and how her war on the stink bugs is going.
I don't like them, not even a little bit. Anybody got any advice when you're driving around in the middle of the wilderness to try and evade stink bugs? Do I need to bring a mosquito net out in game drive and just cover myself with it and drive like that? Although that's not going to stop them from sitting on me. And then the worst thing is that they just panic. They just like they land on you and they go, ah! And then they go, I'm so frightened and scared. And then they release that horrible chemical defense. And the smell is what gets me the most, because I've unfortunately had some very, very traumatic experiences in Zambia where I can't even tell you. We'd just be sitting there eating dinner innocently, and the next minute you crunch down on something that was not a part of your meal. That is not nice. That is a horrifying experience. Now, Cindy, I'm so glad that you've asked this question, because I've been wanting to talk about it for so long, and I'm going to repeat the question. You're wondering exactly what is the purpose that a stink bug plays in the animal kingdom. They are solely out here to annoy people. They try and get in your eyes. They try and get in your hair, your food, your mouth. They're just here to keep us on our toes and just to remind us why maybe we're not the strongest living thing out here in the wilderness. Because how's that? A human can crumble as soon as they eat or bite down on one stink bug. I promise you, you'll see a man that is 7 foot and he will even succumb to a stink bug. I promise you right now. No, I don't actually know what the ecological role of a stink bug is. I would also like to know. Like I said, they've made me drive around without headlights. I put one light on the left and I'm yielding my spotlight. I'm trying to lure them off to the left. In fact, so they're going to David. I'm busted. David's caught me. Lorne, you said I should bring perfume. Right, let's go back to camp. Let's let's get the perfume out. I don't have much left, but we'll give myself a little spritz and we can give it a bash. Lorne, is there a particular type of perfume, perhaps? You know, I don't want to be the same scent as the stink bugs, that's for sure. But we'll look for something. I'm trying to think because Lioness, I don't know if a Ferrari Safari is going to work because they just hit you harder then. So I'm probably going to skip that one. But thank you for all your tips. I appreciate them. Please keep them coming. So the other thing is, I don't actually know where I was going with this now. I'm trying to think what actually eats a stink bug, because I can't ever say that I've ever seen anything eating a stink bug before other than humans involuntarily ingesting them. So yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite. But maybe Brent knows the ecological role of a stink bug. Like I said, I'm convinced it's just to annoy us and to keep us on our toes and to remind us how weak we are. Oh, Marge, that's my thing, hey, about burning elephant dung in the old can. You know what? I've got a feeling that of all the things that elephant dung can keep away, bees, wasps, tsetse flies, mosquitoes, all these wonderful things, I do not think it's going to keep the stink bug away. I think the stink bug has got power, and that it will be able to beat the smell. I was going to say stench, but then I was like, but that beautiful, wonderful elephant dung does definitely not smell. It smells lovely. It smells like a variety of tea. I suppose it depends on what the elephant's been eating, though. So I don't know if that's going to work. Actually, this technique, touch wood, seems to be doing the job right now. I'm not touch wood again. I'm just going to keep doing it. Everybody at home, touch your wooden desks, your chairs, whatever you need to. Please help me. I don't seem to be being attacked right now in the face. They are being lured. I'm just watching insects sort of zip past. Every now and then I get like a little reflection of one going past, and then I'll shine my spotlight away from my face like that. The only thing that we have against us is the presenter light, because that's sitting right behind us, and that lures the insects. But without the bright headlights on, I'm also doing this as they come towards me, because I can also see them a little bit every now and then with the spotlight. You see all the insects. Kirsten said I was like the Matrix. If I was like the Matrix, I'd be like this, shoo, doing things like that. I'm not, though, because it kind of puts your back out. So definitely getting older now. I used to be so nimble. I don't know what's going on. Oh, goodness. Right. Brent has unfortunately got no signal. So we will just keep talking about the stink bugs because there doesn't seem to be anything else out. I'm also hoping I don't drive into one of these marula trees that are growing so dangerously close to the edge of the road. Normally I wouldn't be afraid of the marula trees, but with no lights and just a little spotlight, there's a little bit of a problem. We'll look at some impala now. Oh my goodness, how do they get up my shorts? I don't know how they get up my pants, but it's very upsetting. Kirsten, may we please go into infrared? Pretty please. Go away inside. Yeah, we're going into infrared now because there's something to the left that I would very much like to show you. There it is. So we're in black and white now, using a special light that only the animals can't see. What was that? No. Sorry, I heard a snort. It might be some wildebeest. No, it's not. It's one of the safari vehicles starting up. Here we have some impala on their way up to the open plains of quarantine, which again is the plains behind camp, which they do on a regular basis, pretty much every single night, between the wildebeest, a couple of inyala here and there, scattered in between the impala, and then, well, of course, the impala, as I just mentioned, seem to make up the bulk of the animal species that linger on up here. They don't seem to be too bothered by the stink bugs, although I don't think that young impala ram that's grooming himself at the moment would enjoy eating a stink bug if he got one stuck in his teeth. Shamson, you've suggested garlic spray. Well, I wouldn't mind that. David, how would you feel like... you love garlic. Right, garlic spray it is. I don't know about the other cameraman, however, and anybody else that has to, pass a few meters near me will unfortunately have to deal with the stench of garlic. Wouldn't that... I like it. Yes, and Kirsten has just reminded me it would keep the vampire bats away too, so it might be a good idea. I'll be spritzing garlic, or perhaps I'll just take cloves, maybe roast them, and mush them over my skin. Maybe there's some amazing a beauty product sort of to it. Who knows? I'll be the guinea pig. I'll test it out for all of you. But yes, so we'll be maybe giving that a bash. And I do normally put heaps of garlic on everything, sometimes even in my cornflakes. I'm just joking. Of course, don't do that. That would be revolting. But it's been a very exciting afternoon. I'm sure you'll all agree, filled with that of rosettes, Hosana and Xidulu. Who knows? Maybe they're going to be around tomorrow morning to join us on the Sunrise Safari. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.